Good morning Year 4 and welcome to Wednesday's maths lesson. I'd like you to pause the video and have a go at the mental arithmetic questions. Welcome back Year 4. So, although these are subtraction problems, we've been talking about the fact that we're finding the difference, and for these calculations I would be hoping that for the majority of them you would be of trying to use the method of counting on. However, if we look at this problem, we certainly wouldn't want to be counting on from 9 all the way up to 407. If I was completing this problem, I'd be subtracting 7, then subtracting 2 more, which gives me the answer 398. A good thing to do is always just check with the inverse, add 2 on, add 7 more, I've got back to 407. But these numbers are fairly close together, therefore counting on is a good method to use. So if I add 2, I get to 80, add 9 more, then my difference is 11. And again, I could check that using the inverse. 78 add 10 is 88, add 1 more, 89. Okay, it's always good just to do that little inverse check in your heads, and that way you're continuing to practice your mental math skills as well. 203, take away 196. I can quite easily see there is a difference of 7 there. So I add 4 to get to 200, then add 3 more. Now these numbers aren't so close together as perhaps the two questions at the top. But nonetheless, this is very close to a multiple of 100. This is very close to a multiple of 100. So I can still use my technique of counting on. If I add 2 to this number, I get to 400. Then if I add 100, I get to 500. Add 4 more, I've got to 504. Or if I add 2, I've got to 400. Add 104, I've got to 504. So the difference is going to be 106. If I add my 100 on to 398, I've got 498. Add 6 more, I've made it to 504. So I hope that you were successful with those and you've marked them. Once you have marked them, then please continue with the video. So today is all about identifying which operation to use to solve a problem, and then most importantly, if the problem is a multiplication, then we're going to be using the grid method. So let's have a very quick look at the Sapphire challenge for everybody. Apples cost 14 pence each. Alice bought 2 apples. How much did they cost? Now hopefully you've been able to work that out in your head, and actually hopefully the Sapphire group you've realised this is the same question actually I modelled yesterday. It's just put into a word problem. We've got 14 pence multiplied by 2. We've got 14 multiplied by 2, which is what we did yesterday. Now I can actually put pence in my multiplication grid, but the same as yesterday, 2 lots of 10p is going to be 20p, 2 lots of 4p is going to be 8p, giving me a total of 28 pence. And yesterday we talked about how to use your number line to help you adding your 20 and your 8 pence if you were unsure about recombining them, putting them back together to make 28p. Now, if apples were 16 pence and this time Alice bought 5 apples, how much would they cost? So Sapphire group, you're also going to be doing some multiplying by 5 today. So we're going to need to put multiplied by 5 here. This would be exactly the same if we were doing bronze, silver or gold challenge. And we're going to need to partition our 16 pence. So this is going to be 10p and this is going to be 6p. For the purpose of calculating, I don't necessarily have to put my pence into this grid. 5 lots of 10 is 50, 5 lots of 6 is 30, and when I've added those back up, then I have made 80 pence. Okay, so I could very simply, because I know that I'm working in pence, just put my pence here at the end, but what I must do is when I put my final answer to the problem, I must show that as pence. That's really, really important. If you're someone that finds it difficult to remember to write in pence, then it probably is a good idea to actually show your workings all in pence as well. I'd like the Sapphire group to now start their challenge, and you'll see Sapphire group that you've got the grids written on here to help you. When you multiply by 5, I've highlighted it in green to help you. When you're multiplying by 2, I've highlighted it in yellow to help you. Now, if you're going to be doing the bronze challenge today, then you can equally start your challenge, and you can see that you are multiplying by 2 or by 4. Sorry, multiplying by 3 or by 4 again today. And then there's a series of problems for the silver group that they can also start with. Just be aware, please, when you do the bronze and silver, there is a little challenge at the end where you are going to need to do a second step to a problem and have a think about how you might solve question H on bronze and silver. But if you think back to what we did in the mental and oral part of this lesson, so the mental arithmetic part of this lesson, we were very much finding the difference by counting up. So bear that in mind when you're solving problem H. So if all groups could start bar the gold, and the gold group, I'm just going to show you your challenge now. So if we take a dragon fruit, some of us might not be familiar with that. I'm not sure I've ever purchased a dragon fruit, but I've certainly seen it in the supermarket, and it tends to be quite an expensive product. Dragon fruit costs £3.46 each. Alice bought 4 dragon fruits. What was the total cost? So looking at this problem, I can see that I'm multiplying because I've got £3.46, and I'm going to be multiplying that 4 times. So let's put that into my grid up here. So we're going to be multiplying by 4. Now, it can be a bit tricky trying to multiply pounds and pence. Far easier if I just convert it to pence. Then I'm just dealing with 346. So I can partition that into 340 and 6. Very similar to yesterday. If I've got 2 zeros in my question, then I can put 2 zeros into my box. 4 lots of 3 is 12. So 4 lots of 300 is 1,200, or I could even say 1,200. If I'm going to be doing 4 lots of 40, I've got 1 0, so I'm going to put 1 0 in the box. 4 multiplied by 4 is 16. So 4 lots of 40 is 160. And then 4 times 6 is 24. Again, please be careful with your times tables. I have seen people rush, put something like this, and this is 3 lots of 6, not 4 lots of 6. Okay, so they wonder where they've gone wrong then with their calculations. So please double check your working as you're going along. Now, if you can add these mentally in your head, as we said yesterday, then please do so. However, once our numbers begin to get larger, then using a written method to add them can just make sure that we are not making any mistakes with our calculations. And it's really important that you put your numbers in the correct place value columns. So here I can see that this is my 1,000 column, and this is my hundreds column, and then we've got my tens column and my ones column. Okay, and we'll just draw a line across there just to keep that separate. Now, I can see I haven't got any carrying. It's a very simple addition. But you might find that some of the numbers you have to add on your grids is going to involve some carrying, and therefore written method is going to be very useful. 0 add 0 add 4 is 4. 0 add 6 add 2 is 8. 2 add 1 is 3. 1 add 0 is 1. So I've got 1,384p. Okay, so I'm just going to write that over here. 1,384p. What would really be good then, year 4, is because we generally don't go into a supermarket and say, right, that's going to be 1,384p, please. We generally would convert it into pounds. I'd like you to do that for me, and you have done work on money this year, so hopefully you can figure out that that is £13.84. So I'd like you to show it both ways, please, when you do your maths today. However, what you can do is check this answer using a calculator, because you can type in 346 multiplied by 4 and you should get this answer. Obviously then your teacher can check your converting when you submit your work. So good luck today, year 4. Hopefully you can see from my screen I'm accurate because I've worked very methodically and I've shown my working. So please show your working, try to get everything correct, and just bear in mind that the same as the silver and bronze group, there is an extra challenge there on H. Just think about how you're going to solve that accurately. And there's a few grids if you want to use them rather than draw them on the sheet. So good luck, year 4, and I look forward to speaking to you all again tomorrow. Thank you.